Hi guys, it's your girl ChiChiMsMedia here with another vlog, and this time I decided to just do a recap of my amazing Afrobeat summer, which is what I'm going to call it, my amazing Afrobeat summer. So as you guys know, it is October 5th. We just finished celebrating 55 years of Nigerian independence, the first of this month, and I feel like it's the perfect time to do this vlog because to me, October is the official end of summer. I know that September is usually fall as well, but we get some glimmering days in September that make me feel like, you know, summer is still lingering. But by the fall, the leaves are actually falling, everything is autumn. That's why I kind of have this fall-esque outfit on. Summertime is over. So it's a great time for me to recap all of the things that I did this summer that I wanted to share with you guys. So before I get too forward into the video, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at ThisIsChiChi, on Twitter at ChiChiMsMedia, or Afrobeat Chichi if you want to listen to and talk about and be involved with all things Afrobeat. But I digress. Let me get back to my summer. I think I want to start off with the Cap Tour. That's DJ Spinall, the Crazy Ass Party. In April, he did his finale in New York City, and I was on the scene doing the red carpet interviews and kind of seeing who was there and who was having fun with us. Big shouts out to DJ Spinall. It was a big year for him. He did that tour in Europe, he was in Nigeria, obviously, and then of course the United States. But it was a good follow-up for him because I think he just became brand ambassador for Smirnoff right around the time that he was starting that tour. So I think it was also a good segue into introducing himself as the brand ambassador. Big shouts out to you, DJ Spinall. Moving right along, I think one of the biggest moments of my summer was traveling to Texas, to Houston, for WizKid's official industry night. And of course it's Starboy, so it was an action-packed, jam-packed show. Starboy has so many songs. Literally, if he had spent the time and just did all of his old songs prior to 2010, it would have been a success. If he had started at 2010, and did all of his hits from 2010, 2015, it still would have been a success because that's the kind of artist that WizKid is. His catalog is just so great right now that he has just so much music, so much #1 singles that the whole crowd was just on their feet, enjoying dancing the entire time. It's one of those things I always ask artists when I get a chance to interview them is, what is that feeling like? Or describe to me the feeling of being in front of an audience and they're looking at you and they're screaming back every single word you're spitting at them. I think it would be such a surreal feeling. So I always definitely ask that question when I meet artists, just to walk me through what it's like to go from writing it down, being in the studio, hearing it on the radio, and then touching these lives with it. So let me digress one more time. I think the WizKid show was definitely a huge highlight. He brought out so many surprises. The industry night show with WizKid was one of the biggest moments of my summer. But there was a lot of shows that I went to, so let's talk about some of those big shows. IOJ actually had an IOJ and Friends tour as well this summer. He took Bodge on the microphone as well as Jadenia, a classic band, on the road with him and had a nice show. Amazura in Queens was where his New York City stop was, and it was a really amazing show. I was happy to see Bodge on the microphone. I was happy to see classic man Jadenia, especially because he isn't an Afrobeat artist, he's a hip-hop artist, he's an American artist. His song Classic Man was really, really big on the radio, still is kind of getting a lot of play. So it was great to kind of see him make sure he recognizes that, you know what, African artists are coming, Afrobeat artists are coming, let me make sure we touch base because we're all one and the same. So it was really great to see Jadenia on stage. It was great to see IOJ. IOJ also had a big collab this year. Fetty Wap jumped on the Your Number remix. Fetty Wap has had an amazing year. I think he just came out and has like 8 #1 singles out right now. Crazy. So of course IOJ linking up with him and doing the Your Number remix. Crazy. But let me move on from that. The African Inspire Awards I went to was actually in Minneapolis, Minnesota. That was an amazing show for me just because I know a lot of times award shows kind of focus solely on music and entertainers, and this one kind of gave a breath of fresh air to all of the entrepreneurs out there, all of the scholarly people out there, all of the people who are really, really academically doing above and beyond with sports, with helping with the community, helping with the field of medicine. So it was just a chance for them to get some kind of recognition as well, because they're also putting a lot of work in throughout the year, selfless work, to make sure that their communities are enriched. So African Inspire Awards, I definitely thank you guys so much for inviting me out there. Styles also performed that night. It was headlined by, of course, songstress Emma Naira. Really big event, really clean, well executed as well. So big shouts out to everyone at the Africa Inspire NEGA, the Next Generation Awards. That was really great. That was in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Now this wasn't a show that I attended, but the Fortified show in Nigeria, which was Tubaba's 40th birthday celebration. Now out of the 40 years he's been alive, I think he's been singing for like 35, I want to say. So Two-Face has been one of the most influential, I think, African musicians on the continent. So many artists performed that night for him. I was able to just watch it on Ustream, and I was like enjoying it so much vicariously in my house in New York. But big shout out to Baba. 45 was an amazing show. You're an amazing artist. You're an amazing guy. Your contribution to African music has been amazing. You're a legend, a living legend. And of course, how can I talk about my summer without talking about the NEA Awards? That is the Nigerian Entertainment Awards, which embodied, I think, all of my highlights in one, because I set out to meet Yemi Alade this year. Literally, that was what I said I wanted to do before 2015 was over. Luckily, for the NEA Awards, I was able to meet Yemi Alade, and I'm just such a fan of hers because she is so talented, so gorgeous. She embodies the strength of an African woman. Her outfits, her unique style, everything about her, I'm just a fan. So I was really excited to get to meet her at the NEA Awards. I got to interview DJ Cuppy, which is a girlfriend of mine. Saw Emanara again in the backstage. Ice Prince and Osas were the hosts of this year's 2015 NEA Awards. It was the 10th annual NEA Awards as well, so it was definitely action-packed from start to finish. I was able to do some interviews as well, so make sure you guys head over to my YouTube channel, check out the stuff I did on the red carpet, stuff I did in the backstage, getting a one-on-one with a lot of the artists that had shown up at this year's NEA Awards. So if you guys did not go check that out, I'll leave some links below, make sure you guys do. But yeah, the NEA Awards for me is always a big pinnacle milestone throughout the year, so I think I could not go out, do this without mentioning the NEA Awards. Also, but the NEA weekend was actually a big weekend. It wasn't just the NEA Awards that was actually amazing. The day before, they had a cultural fusion show with Machel Montano. If you guys do not know who Machel Montano is, he sings probably all of your favorite Caribbean soca songs. So Machel Montano was on the bill. They had all of the Caribbeans in the house, and of course, was supposed to be D'banj on the bill to bring the African fusion, but he was unable to make it due to reasons that I don't want to discuss right now, because if you guys head to my Instagram page, you'll see that I wrote D'banj an open letter, kind of venting a little bit, because it's kind of been 2 times in a row where I was really excited to go see Coco Master in a show, and he disappointed. Last year at Independence Day Parade, he was supposed to perform, and he did not. So this year at the NEA pre-party, I was really certain that he would be there, and unfortunately he wasn't. But fortunate for him, Ice Prince was able to take over that show and really shut the house down, and then the next day host the NEA Awards as well. So big up to you, Ice Prince. You definitely held it down that weekend. But yeah, so the Machel Montano and Ice Prince show was definitely a fun event for me, because I always say this: African culture, African and Caribbean culture are so one and the same, that it really feels good to be in a room with all of the flags kind of flailing across the room, and the energy the same, and the beats are the same. It's just the lyrics that were different. All of us were in the building going crazy for every single song they did that night. So big shout out to DJ Tunes. I think he was also on the bill for that. Speaking of DJ Tunes, I wanted to mention you specifically because you're the only guy right now in my local area here in New York who is able to bring the amount of people you do bring without having an artist. There was no Davido, there was no Wizkid at the last Amarawa party, Ankara fashion. It was pack to pack, wall to wall African beauty. And DJ Tunes, you did that. Also, DJ Tunes recently had the official after party for Independence Day. Past weekend, I was able to go to one of Tunes' parties again. Big event, big turnout. Happy birthday, Nigeria. Of course, we turned 55, the big 5-5. And of course, Pata Rank and Emanara DJ Cuppy were on the scene to help us wish happy birthday to Nigeria, our beloved home. So that was great. But also the P Square show. P Square is now an African duo, 2 brothers, Peter and Paul, who have been performing for the past 20 years, I want to say. And they've got songs with Rick Ross, they've got songs with T.I., they've got songs with so many African artists, #1 sellers, and they were here in Queens at Amazura. They just had their show there as well. Now, P Square, if you guys don't know, they come with a powerful punch. Not only are they talented songwriters and singers, but they can dance, they're handsome, they have a full band, full group of dancers. So when they come and do a show, it's a real show. Like, it's a big deal. And it's choreographed dances. It's not just like 2 girls, come on, dance and shake your ass. No, they have actual dancers, full top routine. Everyone's in uniform, so it's really professional. Really, they give you a good show. That's P Square for you. So they just finished, I think September 25th, they were at Amazura, brought the house down. New York City was crazy. It wasn't just Nigerians, it was Ghanaians, it was Liberians, it was whites, it was Spanish. Everybody loves P Square, and they all came out and they all proved that point last Saturday. So that was a great show. Another highlight of my summer. Also, I think a great highlight of my summer was my birthday. My birthday was in June, and I treated myself to a trip to Miami to go see my brother. So I think for me that was a great moment, just because my brother lives in Florida, I live in New York, so we're kind of far away. We're really close-knit family. So every chance I get to go see one of my family members, be it my family in Rhode Island or my big bro in Florida, I jump at the moment. So yes, for my birthday, I treated myself to a trip to South Beach. So big shouts out to my older brother Chike for hosting me. That was also a great moment. I think I mentioned that I met Yemi the other day at NEA Awards. That was one of my biggest moments. I think I even have it on my list twice. But also I want to talk about the best feeling of the summer for me, I think, was all of the dashikis I saw. So many people representing African culture, African fashion, African fabric all over the place, be it an actual African indigene, an African indigenous diaspora, African American, Spanish people. I just saw so many dashikis and so much African accessories this summer. So I think that was just a breath of fresh air, specifically for me, Afrobeat Chichi. But it was just really great to see all of the vibrant African inspired fashions that are kind of slowly seeping into westernized culture, westernized fashion. So I think for me that was like an ongoing moment, just seeing all of the contemporary African fashions and styles being incorporated into day-to-day fashion. So that was dope. And I want to end with my two favorite song moments of the year. I know that I talk about Afrobeat music a lot. This was a crossover, so I think my two favorite moments was the announcement that Drake and Wizkid would be collabing together on the remix for Ojo Legba, and then that Meek Mill and Davido would also be working together on a project called Fans Me. Now, Fans Me had a video, so if you guys have not gone to see that, go ahead and see that. It's got a little funny spin at the end where you think, why has Davido got all this paraphernalia on the table? But of course, you find out in the end, it's only Fufu. And then of course also Drake and Wizkid's song hitting over to iTunes and doing really well there. Those were huge moments for me because Afrobeat Chichi loves African music, and I love when it crosses over, just because we've had so many years, so many decades of reggaeton being so popular and reggae music being so popular. And it's like Afrobeat music has such good talent, has such good beats, such good quality, and I'd scream it to the world if I could that I want this genre of music to be more universal. So I think when stuff like this happens and big artists like Drake and Meek Mill have their finger to the pulse enough to know that they got to get on tracks with these guys, it blows my world and makes my day. So that was my summer, my amazing summer. I look forward to many more memories. I have one more event that I'm actually going to be going to this week. I'm going to the Affirm Awards in Dallas, Texas, which is the African Music Magazine Awards. So I guess that'll be my last summer moment, or I guess that'll be the start of my fall and winter vlog. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Again, don't forget to follow all of my handles. I will leave them somewhere in the screen below. I had an amazing summer. Thank you guys so much for continuing to support my brand. Afrobeat music is, of course, my favorite thing in the world. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys.